The implementation of business analytics comes with numerous challenges, but also provides some opportunities. One challenge already discussed is the sheer cost of obtaining the data. However, if this data can be obtained and implemented appropriately, there will be a reduction in cost elsewhere. In this process, it is important to maintain the data quality because if data quality is lower than expected, or in the worst case compromised, it can be very expensive to recover from. Another challenge is how the data will be reported. Depending on what institution is implementing business analytics, they may be hesitant to publicly report their findings in order to maintain their competitiveness in the industry. One such finding may be if a certain institution has a high occurrence of patient harm. If this were to be publicly known, no one would go to that institution and their business would crumble. To reiterate the earlier point of privacy of the data, there would have to be limitations on what data can be shared, and the database would need to have levels of authorization so only qualified personnel can view them. This makes it difficult for researchers who will have trouble getting their hands on the outcomes of data analytics.
With the challenges identified, let's move on to the opportunities around the implementation of business analytics. The first opportunity is faster diagnosing times. If a database can be built that encompasses the genetics of patients, then a simple search and comparison can assist in diagnosing a patient. Not only with diagnosing, but it can help indicate what is the most effective medication for the patient's health situation, as well as the proper dosages of those medications. Another opportunity not mentioned previously in the presentation is if a database were to be built around data from healthcare equipment. If a system can be built that accounts for all devices on hand for healthcare institutions, it can make patient servicing more efficient. Direct application of this would be in disaster situations where demand for certain medical devices outweighs supply. If there's a system that indicates where each medical device is at a time, there can be more efficiency in the tracking and usage of those devices. Another opportunity built around the medical devices is if their performance can somehow be tracked. For example, with knee replacements, some institutions will use different models, and if their effectiveness can be tracked, the best performing models can be recommended to future patients. For instance, effectiveness could be tracked by the number of complaints from patients or number of units that had to be removed after the fact.